The heavy door of the Hells Angels clubhouse creaked open one quiet Tuesday afternoon, letting a shaft of sunlight and something nobody expected. A kid, Justin, 11 years old, stood in the doorway with a scuffed backpack hanging off one shoulder. His sneakers were too small, his hair uncombed, and a dark bruise bloomed around his left eye. Conversations froze mid-sentence. Pool cues stopped mid-swing. A dozen rough-looking bikers turned in silence. Robert, the chapter president, set down his coffee. His weathered face was calm but alert, his gray beard hiding a jaw that had seen its share fights. "You lost, kid," Ben called from the corner. Justin's fingers twisted the straps of his backpack. His throat worked like he wanted to speak, but couldn't. Then he straightened, lifted his chin, and said the words that would stop every heart in that room. "Can you be my dad for one day?" The room went still. Behind the smoke and leather, something old and painful stirred in the men's eyes. Memories of bruised childhoods, absent fathers, and broken promises. Robert's gaze swept the room. Tommy, who aged out of foster care alone. Diego, whose father disappeared before he could walk. Ben, who still carried scars from a belt that wasn't used for holding up pants. Justin's voice trembled as he went on. "It's career day at school next Friday. Everyone's bringing their parents to talk about their jobs." He swallowed. "I don't have anyone to bring." Robert stood slowly. "What about your folks?" "My real dad died in Afghanistan," Justin said, eyes steady but distant. "For years ago. And my mom's boyfriend." His hand brushed the bruise on his face. He's not really the career day type. Diego crouched to meet his gaze. "That shiner. How'd you get it?" "Fell off my bike," Justin whispered. "Try again." Justin's shoulder sagged. "Dale, Mom's boyfriend. He gets mad when she's at work. She works double shifts at the hospital. Yesterday, I forgot to take out the trash." His voice fell to a whisper. "He said I was useless, like my dead dad." The temperature in the room dropped. Knuckles tightened around beer bottles. The air was thick with rage that wasn't directed at the boy. Robert spoke softly. "And school? How's that going?" Justin laughed once, a sound with no humor. "There's this kid, Nicholas. He and his friends push me around, call me orphan boy. Last week, they threw my dad's dog tags in the trash. I had to dig through garbage to find them." Robert's jaw worked. He remembered the taste of loneliness, the sting of humiliation. "Why us?" Tommy asked gently. "Why the Hells Angels?" Justin hesitated, then said, "Because you're not afraid of anyone. Nicholas's dad is a lawyer. No one stands up to them. But everyone respects you. Maybe if you came, they'd stop." The words hung there. Robert looked around. Every man in that room had once needed someone to show up for them. He turned back to Justin. "Friday, you said?" Justin nodded, a spark of hope flickering across his face. "What time?" 9:30, room 204. Robert turned to his men. "Who's free Friday morning?" Every hand went up. Robert smiled faintly. "We'll be there. All of us." Justin blinked, stunned. "Really? Really?" Robert said. Then his tone softened. "This thing with Dale, does your mom know?" Justin looked away. "She's tired all the time. I don't want to make things worse." "Taking hits for her isn't protecting her," Robert said quietly. "It's just pain. I don't know what else to do." "You just did," Robert said, resting a hand on his shoulder. "You asked for help." When Justin left, his steps were different, lighter somehow. Robert watched him disappear down the street, then turned to his men. "We've got 4 days to show that kid what it means to have a family." Friday morning arrived gray and threatening rain. Justin woke at 5, too nervous to sleep. He put on his best shirt, the one he'd worn to his father's funeral, and buttoned it with trembling fingers. His mother, exhausted from another night shift, kissed his forehead. "Big day, sweetheart." "Yeah," he said softly. "I'm sorry I couldn't take off work." "It's okay, Mom. I figured something out." She looked at him, noticing a new steadiness in his eyes. "You sure you're okay?" "I'm sure." At school, Nicholas waited by the lockers with his friends Brett and Chase. "Look who showed up," he sneered. Ready for career day, orphan boy? Oh, wait. You don't have anyone coming. Justin ignored him and kept walking. Nicholas grinned. My dad's bringing his Mercedes. What's yours bringing? He smirked. A coffin. Brett shoved Justin into the lockers, but Justin said nothing, just walked on toward room 204. By 9:15, the classroom buzzed with parents. Nicholas's father, in a tailored suit, shook hands like he was running for office. Brett's mom, a doctor, brought her stethoscope. Chase's dad, a pilot, wore his uniform with pride. Justin sat alone at the back, watching clock. Each tick felt like a hammer. 9:30 came and went. His chest tightened. They weren't coming. Then he heard it, low at first, like distant thunder. The rumble grew until windows rattled. Heads turned toward the parking lot. 32 motorcycles rolled into perfect formation, engines roaring in unison. Chrome gleamed even under gray skies. The Hells Angels had arrived. Justin's breath caught. They came. Robert led the pack, his bike front and center. They parked in a V formation and dismounted as one, a wave of leather and steel. The class crowded the windows. Mrs. Peterson froze as the bikers entered the classroom. They filled it completely. Too big, too real for the pastel walls and tiny desks. Robert's voice cut through the hush. Justin Miller? Justin stood, heart pounding. Here. Robert nodded. We're here for you, kid. Whispers exploded around the room. Nicholas's smirk vanished. His father's jaw tightened. Robert turned to the class. Morning, everyone. We're the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. Justin asked us to talk about what we do. He began with the basics, mechanics, balance, the engineering behind motorcycles. Then Ben stepped forward. Most people think we're criminals, he said. But real brotherhood means showing up when it counts. They talk about charity rides, toy drives, veteran fundraisers, and escorting survivors of abuse to court safely. The kids listened, riveted. Then Miguel stepped up. I grew up thinking love meant fists, he said quietly. By 13, I was fighting, stealing, hating myself. Then Robert found me. He showed me that strength isn't violence. It's protecting people who can't protect themselves. The room was silent. Even Nicholas looked shaken. Diego held up a photo. This was Tommy at 15, homeless. This is Ben after rock, alone. And this is Robert, the day his daughter said she was proud of him. He looked at Justin. We've all been broken, but we choose to be better. Robert faced Justin. You asked us to be your dad for one day, but family doesn't end at sunset. You're stuck with us now. The room erupted in applause. Even the bullies clapped. Afterward, Nicholas's father approached Robert stiffly. Quite the show. Robert's stare was steady. Your boy's been giving Justin trouble. That stops today. Are you threatening me? I'm promising, Robert said, turning away. Outside, Justin tried to find words, but Robert just squeezed his shoulder. See you tomorrow, kid. We'll teach you how to change oil. As the engines thundered to life, Justin watched them ride away, his heart full for the first time in years. That weekend, he spent hours at the clubhouse learning to fix bikes. Grease covered his hands, but his grin never faded. For 2 days, the world felt right. Then Monday came, and with it, Dale. Someone had posted a video of the career day. It spread fast. Local bikers steal the show. Dale saw it 17 times over, each view fueling his fury. Justin was doing homework when the truck engine growled outside. The door slammed open. So, Dale slurred, you think you're special now? Got your biker buddies. Justin froze. His mother wouldn't be home for hours. I asked you a question. Dale grabbed his shirt, shaking him. You made me look like a fool. I just needed someone for a career day. You got a father right here. You're not my father, Justin whispered. Dale's face turned purple. He raised his fist, and the front door opened. Robert stepped in first, followed by Ben and Diego. 3 more bikers filled the entryway, silent, steady, and unafraid. Dale froze mid-swing. Get out of my house. Not your house, Robert said calmly, holding up his phone. Lease is in Jennifer Miller's name. She gave us a key. He glanced around. She's known something was wrong. We're here to fix it. Dale dropped Justin. Ben stepped forward. Don't, he said quietly. You don't want to do that. Robert knelt beside Justin. You good? Justin nodded, trembling. Diego placed a thick manila folder on the table. Open it. Inside were photos, bruises, medical notes, written statements. Proof. Your nurse has been documenting for months, Robert said. Jennifer's co-workers saw her injuries too. You left a trail, Dale. You can't. We already did, Ben said flatly, sliding over court papers. Protective order ready to file. Robert leaned against the counter. 2 choices. Leave tonight and never come back. Or we file everything and you'll be in handcuffs by morning. Dale's shoulders slumped. I need an hour. You get 30 minutes, Diego said. They watched him pack and drive away into the night. When Jennifer returned home later, she found her son surrounded by bikers eating pizza, laughter filling the room for the first time in years. Is he really gone? She whispered. He won't be back, Robert said. Tears of relief rolled down her cheeks. Why would you do this for us? Robert glanced at Justin. Because someone had to, and because your boy was brave enough to ask. That night, Justin's phone buzzed a message. Sleep tight, kid. We're around if you need us. For the first time in years, Justin slept soundly. Adrian studied her face with laser intensity, and Emma realized she had just crossed a line she couldn't uncross. She had voluntarily involved herself in his dangerous world. How much did you hear? Adrian asked quietly. Enough to know you're not just some rich guy, she whispered. He didn't answer, just turned toward the window where the moonlight sliced across his sharp features. The silence stretched until Emma finally asked, What happens now? He turned to her, eyes shadowed. Now you decide if you still want to work here. Emma's heart raced. She thought of Leo, the boy who had started smiling again. I can't abandon him, she said firmly. Something flickered in Adrienne's eyes. Respect, maybe, or disbelief. You're either very brave or very foolish, he said softly. Maybe both, she replied. The following weeks felt like walking a tightrope. Adrienne's men began watching her more closely. Their eyes filled with suspicion. She ignored them and focused on Leo, whose confidence blossomed. He was now signing short sentences, even jokes. Sometimes he'd look to his father, sign something, and Adrian would struggle to keep up, but he tried. One afternoon, Emma walked in to find Adrian sitting beside Leo's art project, a drawing of 3 stick figures, Leo, Emma, and Adrian, holding hands. Her heart clenched. He says this is his family, Adrian said quietly. His tone carried both pride and pain. Emma knelt beside Leo, smiling softly. It's beautiful, Leo. Adrienne's gaze lingered on her. You've done more for him in months than any doctor in years. It's not me, she said. He just needed someone to listen. Their eyes met, and for a brief, dangerous moment, the world outside, the guns, the secrets, the fear didn't exist. But danger never stays away for long. One stormy night, Emma was finishing Leo's bedtime story when the sound of shouting echoed from downstairs. Adrienne's voice, furious and sharp, commanded silence. Then a gunshot cracked through the hall. Leo flinched and clung to her arm, eyes wide with fear. Stay here, she whispered, heart pounding. But before she could move, Adrian burst into the room, face tense. We have to go. Now. He grabbed Leo, motioning for Emma to follow. They rushed through hidden corridors until they reached a back door leading into the rain. Black cars screeched outside the gates, enemy vehicles. Adrian, a voice shouted from below. You can't hide forever. Emma froze, realizing she was witnessing a mafia war firsthand. Adrian pulled his gun. Get Leo to the car. No, she said firmly. You need both your hands. I'll carry him. Her defiance startled him, but there was no time to argue. She picked up Leo, shielding him with her body as they ran through the rain. Gunfire erupted. Adrian returned fire, precise and lethal. One of the attackers fell. Another aimed at Emma. Emma! Adrian shouted, diving in front of her. The bullet grazed his shoulder. He staggered but didn't fall. They made it to the car, engines roaring as his men covered their escape. Inside, Leo was crying silently, signing frantically, "Dad hurt. Dad hurt." Emma pressed her hand over Adrienne's wound, tears mixing with the rain. "You're going to be okay," she said shakily. He looked at her, pain in his eyes but a faint smile on his lips. "You still think I'm just a bad man?" "I think you're a father," she whispered, "and I think Leo needs you alive." They hid in a safe house miles away. For days, Adrienne refused to rest, pacing and giving orders. But when Leo climbed into his lap and signed sleep, Daddy finally sat down. Emma bandaged his shoulder again. Their hands brushed. He caught her wrist gently. "You could have run when you learned the truth," he said. "I wanted to," she admitted, "but I couldn't leave him. Or you." He looked at her as if trying to memorize her face. "No one ever talks to me like that." "That's because no one sees you," she said softly. "But Leo does. And now so do I." For the first time, Adrienne let out a quiet laugh, low, broken, real. Weeks later, peace returned, or something close to it. The rivals were silenced, the household rebuilt. But Adrienne was different now, less distant, more protective. He started learning sign language with Leo every evening. Sometimes Emma would catch them signing simple words like love and safe. One night, after Leo went to bed, Adrienne joined her in the kitchen. The moonlight made everything silver and soft. "Emma," he said, voice low, "I don't know what to call what's between us, but I know I don't want to lose it." She looked up at him, heart pounding. "Then don't." He stepped closer, hesitation in his eyes. "You make me wish for things I never thought I deserved." "And what do you deserve?" she whispered. "Maybe a chance," he said. The next morning, Leo came running, waving a piece of paper. On it was another drawing, this time Adrienne and Emma with wedding rings. Emma laughed, covering her mouth. "Leo." Adrienne took the paper and smiled, a real one this time. "He always gets what he wants," he murmured. Emma blushed. "And what about you?" Adrienne looked at her with a rare softness. "I already have what I want." Leo signed something between them. Giggling, Emma translated, smiling through tears. He says, "Dad talks now. Mom smiles now. Family complete." Adrienne exhaled, as if the years of silence and violence finally lifted. He looked at his son, then at Emma. "Yeah," he said quietly. "Family complete." From that day forward, the mansion that once echoed with fear now held laughter and signs of life. Leo continued to grow, his voice returning slowly with therapy. But sign language remained their secret connection, a language born from love, not loss. Emma became more than a tutor. She became part of their story. And Adrian, the feared mafia boss, became a man learning to speak again, not just with words, but with his heart. And whenever people whispered about the mute boy of the mafia boss, they didn't know that the real miracle wasn't that he learned to speak. It was that he taught his father how to listen.